In today's video, I'm going to be sharing how to do the waffle stitch in the round, which is an ideal pattern if you're looking for a unique stitch that can be worked continuously. In this video, I'll be sharing step by step how you can make the classic square version, and then I'll show how you can easily adapt this pattern to create a rectangle. I've added timestamps along the progress line so you can skip to your point of interest, but I do highly recommend that you watch that square tutorial first, even if you're planning on doing the rectangle. This is because I'm going to be sharing all of my tips and tricks to help memorize the sequences, and you'll be needing that for the rectangle as well. For the samples that you see here, I'm using a Caron cotton cake, which is a medium 4 yarn or a light worsted weight yarn and requires a 5mm hook. I actually went down to a 4.5mm hook. This did make mine a little bit more stiff and compact, so I would recommend that you stick with your yarn's hook requirements or even go up a half to a full hook size if you wanted to have a little bit more softness and drape. For this pattern, we're going to be working a 2-row repeat and working with double crochets. Now, the secret to getting this lovely waffle effect is that we're simply going to be using a front post double crochet to get that texture. Now, it sounds a lot harder than it is, so don't let that scare you off. It's really easy to do. Now, before we even get started, I do want you to get comfortable with these two numbers, 2 and 1. This is going to be the key to helping you memorize the sequence. To begin, create a magic ring and chain 3. If you don't like doing magic rings, you can do a chain 4 with a slip stitch and then chain 3. This is going to serve as your first double crochet. For this first round, we're going to be doing 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, all the way around until you have 8 double crochets. So we've just done our first double. Let's do another. Chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2, 4, 6, 2 doubles, chain 1. Double check that you have 8 double crochets with a chain 1 in between. 2, 4, 6, 8. Create a slip stitch into the top of that first chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch. So that's round 1 completed, and before we go further, I just want to say quickly that this is considered the right side of our work, and then this is considered the wrong side. And the reason that's important is because we're going to be turning our work after each round. So I would recommend that you hold onto your tail. This will help you easily recognize when you're on the wrong side. So let's go ahead and turn our work for round 2. I like to do it so the yarn is facing the front of my work. And now slip stitch into that space to secure that yarn. Quick tip here, you're always going to be doing a slip stitch into a corner space throughout the whole pattern. For round 2, we're going to be creating our corners. So we're going to start by doing a chain 3. That's going to serve as your first double crochet. And then we're going to do 1 chain and then another double crochet. So let's do a chain and then another double crochet, all in the same space. So in essence here we did a chain 4 with a double crochet, but that first chain 3 serves as your double, and then the extra chain is your space. That's our first corner completed, and now we have these 2 double crochets or 2 posts. We're going to refer to them as the posts because that's where we're going to be working into for our front post double crochets. So for these next 2 doubles, that's what we're going to do. So yarn over, going into the front, going under the post, yarn over and pull that yarn through, And now complete just like you would any other double crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through 2. Let's do another one. Yarn over, going into the front of the stitch, going under that post, yarn over, pull the yarn through it, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's all there is to doing a front post double crochet. Now in this next space, we're creating another corner. So it's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Double, chain 1, double, all in the same space. We're back to our next 2 doubles, so we're going to do the front post double crochets, yarn over, going into the front, reaching under that post, pull your yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, yarn over, going into the top, going under that post, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Easy peasy. We're back to another corner. That's a double, chain 1, double. We're back to our 2 double crochets. So we're doing front post doubles. We're at our final corner. That's a double crochet, a chain 1, and then another double crochet, all in the same corner space. We're at our last 2 double crochets, front doubles, going in, pulling through, pull through 2, pull through 2, one more, 2 and 2. When you come to the end, we're just going to do a slip stitch into the top of that first chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And round 2 is completed. Now again, we're flipping our work. We're going back to the right side and round 3. So just turn your work around and then do a slip stitch into that corner. And now we're ready. And as you can see, we created our first little waffle square with those front post doubles. Go ahead and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You notice here for round 2, for our corners, we did a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now for round 3, we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets for our corner. And you remember earlier when I said that the numbers 2 and 1 are key? This is what I'm referring to. We're going to be alternating between these 2 numbers throughout the pattern. So we've created our chain 3 for one of our doubles, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the whole round and then come back and finish that corner at the very end. So let's create our first front post. And now we're going to do 2 double crochets in these next 2 stitches. And what's cool about this is as you're working, these posts are going to make things rise and lower, and so you'll easily be able to see where you need to work your posts and your regular double crochets. You can see they're receding back a little bit. These are your 2 double crochets. So going in, create a double. Let's do another double crochet in the next stitch, going in, just making sure to catch those 2 top stitches, that V at the top. Pull your yarn through, and that's done. We're already back to our corner and we have our front post double. Then we're back in our corner. Now this is where we do our 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. So 2 double crochets. Chain 1, 2 double crochets. So it's going to be 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way around. So now we do our 1 post, 2 double crochets, one front double, we're in a corner space, so it's 2, 1, 2, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. That was 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets in the same space. Front post. Two doubles. Front post. So we're back to our first corner. We have a chain 3 that serves as our first double crochet. So we need to do 2 more double crochets for the other side of it. The other side of that corner, I mean. Chain 1. And then 1 more double to complete that side. To complete the round, do a slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Do the best you can here. It does get a little twisted. And that is round 3 completed. So we're going to turn and slip stitch our way over to the corner. And now we're ready for round 4. So for round 4, we can look at the previous round and see that we did 2 double crochets for our corners. So now we know we need to flip back to 1 double crochet for our corners. That's 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. So chain 3, chain 1 more for our space. So 4 chains total, and then a double crochet into the same corner space. We're going to do front post doubles to get started. That's 2. 2 front post doubles. 1, 2. And now we're doing the opposite sequence. We're doing 1, 2, 1, 2. So let's do 1 double crochet into the double that is kind of hidden behind. Again, if it's hard to see where to go, just make sure you have the 2 caught and do your double crochet. 2 posts. One double. 2 posts. We're back to our corner space. We've just done 2 posts, so we know we only need the 1 double, chain 1, 1 double, because we're flipping back between 1 and 2. Now back to our 2 posts. So that's 2 front doubles. One double crochet. Two front posts. We're coming to the end, 2 front posts, we already finished that complete corner, so we just need to do a slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're all done. Let's go ahead and slip stitch into that corner since we can see it right there. And turn our work. Remember, we always want to be in a corner when we start. And now for round 5, we're just going to repeat what we did in round 3. We see here that we just have 1 double crochet on each side, so we know that we need to put 2 double crochets in the middle of it. 2 doubles, 1 chain, 2 doubles. So let's start with a chain 3 to serve as our first double crochet. Because we're so close to that post, we're going to finish the rest of that round at the other side. So 1 post, 2 doubles, they're tucked back there, just make sure to catch those top 2 stitches, nothing more. Another double, 1 front post, 2 doubles, 1 front post, 2 doubles, 1 front post, we're at our corner, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 doubles. 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more doubles into the same space. Front post double, 2 doubles, we're back to our final corner, and just like on round 3, we're going to complete it now. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 1 more double crochet because we have that chain 3 there to serve as the other one, and then we slip stitch into the top of that first chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're completed. And now for round 6, you're just going to repeat what you did for round 4. Turn, slip stitch your way over to the corner, and continue on. If you need a refresher, just skip back to round 4, and then you'll just continue to repeat round 4 and 5 until you complete your project. So here are the key points that help me to memorize this 2-round repeat. Remember to always turn your work and start in a corner. Your chain 3 is always going to serve as a double crochet when you're working in a corner. For the right side or the odd rounds, you're going to be doing 2 double crochets with 1 front post all the way around. When you're on the wrong side or the even round, you're going to be doing 1 double crochet and 2 front posts all the way around. To help you remember how to start in a corner, just look at the sides. If you see 2 front posts surrounding the corner, you know you're starting with 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double. If you see on the corners 1 post on each side, then you know that you're going to start with 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in that corner. Okay, and now we're ready for the rectangle. If you skipped ahead and did not watch the square tutorial, I'd highly recommend that you do go back and rewatch that, or at least skim through, because that's where I do all of the tips and slowly work the sequence for you. To get started, we're going to be making the little waffle squares here. You can make this as short or as wide as you like. This is a pretty good starting point. This is worked in a multiple of 3 plus 6 at the very end, which is going to take care of your corner. For this sample here, I started with a chain of 15 and then added another 6. So we're just going to go ahead and do that again. I'm just going to start with a chain of 15 again. After my chain of 15, I'm adding 6 more to make my corner. To make our first corner, we're going to work into the 5th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Work a double crochet into that chain. To complete our corner, do another double crochet into the same space. Chain 1, and then 1 more double crochet. So for this very first corner, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets with 1 chain space in between these 2 and these 2. These doubles are together. Working into the next stitch, create a double crochet and continue all the way down, creating a double crochet in each chain. When you reach the very last stitch, we're going to do another corner just like we just did. So that's going to be a double crochet in that stitch or that chain. Chain 1, now 2 doubles into that same stitch. 1, 2, chain 1, and then 1 more double, all in that very same stitch there. So again, you have a double, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 1, and a double. So you'll have something that looks like this, hopefully with not so much cat hair as me. One thing I would recommend that you do is just kind of separate it so you can see how many double crochets you have in between. Find your 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then count how many you have in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Perfect. The reason I want you to count that is because we're going to be doing double crochets all the way across to match the ones on the other side. So I have 15. If you've done a different beginning, you may have a different count that you're working with. So what I'm going to be doing as I work my way down, I'm going to be doing double crochets and front post double crochets to create that little waffle effect as we're working. So find that first double crochet after that corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those ones are not counting. They're all in that first stitch. Here is my very first stitch. And I'm going to do a double crochet into that same stitch that corresponds on the other side. In the next stitch, I'm going to do a front post double crochet. And now for the next 2, I'm going to do regular double crochets. One and 2. Now we're doing another front post double. We're just going to continue this all the way across, doing 2 double crochets and then a front post. So 1, 2. I'm just going in right into the stitch there, into the same stitch that I created that double on the other side. We're on to our next front post. And then I have one more double to match the one from the very beginning. Remember, we just did one double crochet to begin that sequence, and we're ending with one double crochet at the other side. To complete this round, we're just going to do a slip stitch into the top of that first chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch. Now, just like the square, we want to start in a corner, so we're going to slip stitch our way to that corner right there. And then turn our work. Now for round 2, it's exactly the same as when we were working the square. So with that in mind, we're going to chain up 3 to serve as our first double crochet. Because this chain 3 is so close to this side of this corner, I'm going to do the rest of it on the other side. So here we have our first 2 front posts. So let's go ahead and do a front post, front post, now that little double crochet that's tucked back there, create your double crochet. And now we're back to that same sequence. 2, 1, 2, 1. 2 front posts. One double. Just as a quick reminder, if you have a hard time knowing where to put your hook, you're just looking to put it under that V. You just want to take care of those 2 stitches right there. Just ignore everything else. Pull your yarn through to create your double. We're back to our 2 front posts. And just continue this all the way across. 2 front posts, 1 double. I'm coming to the other side here. I have 2 more doubles here and then a space. Do your 2 front posts, just like normal. And then in that corner space, create a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. With these 2 doubles here, continue on with the sequence. 2 front posts. You're to your other corner space. So we'll put a double, chain 1, and a double. Continue along the other side. 2 front posts. And then 1 double. 2, 1, 2, 1. I'm nearing another corner. I have 2 doubles that I need to do the front posts in. And then we're back to that space, so I'm doing a double, chain 1, double. We have 2 here. We're just following that sequence. Do your 2 front posts. And remember, in the beginning, I didn't complete that corner. I just did a chain 3. So now I need to complete it. To do that, I need to do a double, a chain 1, and now I'm going to secure with a slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Great. So now we're going to turn, and we want to start in this corner, so we're just going to go ahead and slip stitch into there. Now you're just going to be working the sequence just like you were before. When you see you have just 1 double crochet on each side, you know you need to do the 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my 2 doubles with a chain 1, 2 doubles right now. But if you prefer the look of just doing half of it and then coming back and completing it, you can do that as well. Another thing I'm going to do here is I've found that the chain 3 is a little bit long, so I'm just going to shorten it down to a chain 2 and then do my other double. And then my chain 1 and then another double. Sometimes it just gets a little bit too gappy for my taste, and I do take that chain 3 down to a chain 2. And now we're just going to follow the sequence just like before. Front post, and then 2 doubles, front post, we're at our corner, so we continue along with our 2 doubles, but we don't forget to add that chain in between, so it's 2 double crochets in the corner, chain 1, 2 doubles in that corner to complete it. And then we're just back to the usual sequence. Front post, 2 doubles. We're at the end here. Our last front post. I'm just going to slip stitch into that very first chain there. Slip stitch my way to that corner to get ready for the next round. And now you'll just keep repeating the rounds just like you were doing for the classic square. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, a thumbs up is always appreciated. I do hope you'll give this one a try. This texture feels so good, and it is really easy to do once you get the hang of it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.